Got to start off our Fridays with a little dance. Hello and welcome to our live website review stream where we'll be dissecting your websites and finding out how to increase your traffic, leads, and sales. And today, this week, I am going to be joined by the fabulous Nick Jacob. Hello, Nick.
Hello, Dale, and everyone in the chat today.
How are you going, Nick?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Looking forward to the long weekend. What about you, Dale? How are you doing today?
Well, I live in Scotland, so there is no long weekend for us this week. There's no bank holiday.
Didn't mean to rub it in.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We'll deal with it. We'll have independence soon, so it's fine. Cool. So I'd love to know in the chat where everybody is watching from today. So we should be joined from people on Facebook, on LinkedIn. We're also streaming on Twitter too, but the majority of people are going to be watching us on YouTube. So tell me where you're watching from. I am in surprisingly blue, clear skied Edinburgh. Nick, how clear is the sky where you are today?
It's pretty terrible, to be honest with you. Right in the middle of the country in Nottingham. Do you know what? I actually saw an interesting fact the other day. Maybe it was a digital marketing, content marketing piece. At any given point,
we write it?
We didn't. No, this isn't a shameless plug. But at any given point, 60% of the UK are either about to talk about the weather, have recently talked about the weather within the last hour, or are currently talking about the weather. I'll have to dig it out for you. It's very funny.
Super.
To say the least.
Super. So where have we got? We've got a fitness coach on demand watching us from sunny sky in Brighton, a lovely town. Jess in Lincolnshire, one of our moderators and our newest member of the marketing team. Great to see you. Got Model Universe from sunny Wolverhampton. Let's show these people on the screen. Jess, there you are. Model Universe. Oh, very interesting. The online model and hobby. I can't read all that, but I'm guessing hobby shop. Fascinating.
Very cool.
Be really interested in this. Phil from Tokyo, you know how much I love where you live. We've got David Weber as well in Warrington. Bevan in Barcelona.
Hey, Bevan.
Hey, Bevan. Bevan's one of our marketing consultant ninjas. Cool. So yeah, what's the gist for today? Well, first of all, before we get into anything else, just want to let people know that we are doing a giveaway. So if you want to win a copy of How to Get to the Top of Google, you could do so by using the hashtag Ninja. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. Bear me a sec. And Ninja. Share the screen. Here we go. Giveaway tool. Right. Pop that on the screen just like this. Tack. Right. So use the hashtag Ninja, and at the end of the stream, we will pick somebody to win a copy of this book, How to Get to the Top of Google, which has been a top seller within Amazon's bestseller list for like 7 years now. It's superb. It's been refreshed for 2021, so you get the most recent edition as well. So nothing but fabulous things about that book. If you are new here, make sure you do hit subscribe down below where you'll be able to catch all of our future streams, as well as our regular videos from Tim, our founder. This week's video was about Monday.com's marketing strategy and how they, as a SaaS company, earned leads for their SaaS tool. It's an interesting deep dive. It's part of our series, Marketing Deep Dives, where we look at the marketing campaigns of successful companies within all of your industries, so e-commerce or lead generation or beauty or fitness and health supplements, all that kind of stuff. So if you haven't seen it yet, just go to the YouTube channel and look in our latest videos. You'll see it at the top there. But again, hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. It is free to do. And if you don't like anything myself and Nick say today, you can always just unsubscribe later on. Cool. Phil getting in there quick with a hashtag Ninja. Cool. Let's drop a few banners on here. So just to remind you, if you are enjoying the stream today, you can hit like and make this video visible to other people too. Cool. So, Nick, we got a couple of websites submitted today. Which websites are we going to be looking at? Let's have a look at the first one. And what is their problem?
Yes, good question. So, yeah, we are actually, I need to share my screen, don't I?
Indeed.
Yes. How do we do this? Share screen. Is it this one? Let's assume so. Can you see that fine?
I can see it just fine. Fantastic.
Cool.
It's the subject I'm very close to right now because this coffee is keeping me alive.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Fantastic. So, yeah, in today's video, we've got 3 different e-commerce sites in which we're going to be diving into. And instead of doing our usual sort of format of, looking at websites and being a little bit brutal and diving into and really just tearing them apart,
we're really going to be
Nick, don't worry. Okay, brutal, I guess, but we've been given some specific goals, and for this one in particular, it's all to do with increasing sales. So pretty much that's going to be leading most of the recommendations for this video right now. So yeah, should we dive straight into it then, Dale?
Yes, let's please.
Okay, cool. So I guess there's a little bit of a background into this business first, just so everyone's up to speed. Essentially, Halo Coffee, what they sell is coffee pods, as you probably guessed, and their sort of marketing hook in which they go down is the sustainable compostable route. If you're familiar with coffee pods, a lot of the time you buy them, they come in that plastic sort of packaging, which once you've used, you chuck it in the bin and it's going to end up in a landfill somewhere. So that's their unique selling point. That's their sort of hook into the marketplace, and that's what they built a whole business around. Now, when we look at things really from an e-commerce optimization sort of point of view, I actually do quite like the way in which this website's built. However, there was one glaring thing which I did actually notice when I first came across. So whenever you're using a coffee pod, of course, you need to have a machine in which you use it within. And this one actually works with Nespresso coffee pods. However, when I came across this site, it took me ages and ages and ages to actually figure out that these are compatible with Nespresso. And so already that was a little bit of an objection I had. I was going through the various different payment pages. I was looking, Halo minus Peruvian Andes coffee pods, looking at it to cart. Cool, I can add it. But then my big objection there was, well, hang on, how do I use this? What do I put this into? So I'm not sure if you have any thoughts on that, Dale. Is that something which you've kind of noticed already, or have I been overseeing it, or?
Well, to be honest, when I first loaded the website, the homepage, the very first thing I saw was like a headline that said it was Nespresso compatible. So I think it's
really?
just after this. Yeah, I think maybe. Do you know what? I think it might have been that I opened this website in another tab and then came back to it after like a minute or two, and then there we go. So Nespresso compatible. So after you're there for a long while, but you and I both know that people don't stick around with that part of the website for more than like a second or two. They're immediately scrolling around like you would in a shop searching for the item you're trying to buy. So it being Nespresso compatible, which must be super useful, isn't really clear from the get-go. Like there should be, as you said, like immediately obvious whether that's the headline itself or it's a bullet point underneath the header. How do you think I feel about having a video above the fold, Nick? What do you think? My opinion is on that.
How do you feel about videos? I think you've mentioned this before. Videos you're not a fan of because they're similar to sliders and banners. But at the same time, I think, if they're not too distracting from the main call to action of buying or subscribing, they can be all right. I think it's one of those points we agree and disagree on slightly.
Yeah. This is completely. This goes everywhere. So designers love them. Some marketers love them too. I'm in the field of like it's a distraction. I just want people to focus on my call to action. So, I've got a core message I want to have people see immediately within like that first 3 to 5 seconds. And with a video, you're sometimes having to wait 30 to 60 seconds. So people aren't sticking around for that. So in my opinion, I'd rather just hit them with a really strong call to action. And we've got in the chat, our moderator or somebody using our user account has asked a really good question. So any ideas for the site? I'd first of all like to know what people like. If they like this site, yes or no. You can either just hit Y in the chat and in the chat, it's up to you. Or if you have any ideas of what they could be doing better, I'd love to read them. The Tortoise property suggesting a silent video at the top, which shows the pod being used in the espresso machine. Yeah, that could work, but again, it depends on how like these other words are coming up. So you're having like espresso compatible appear after like 4 or 5 seconds, and for me, that's just way too late. So you could have like them side by side, headline, and a video on the right hand side showing a video of like how it works. But in terms of like that particular video, not the biggest fan.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense. And I think as well, that's a recommendation by Tortoise Property. In addition to that, on product pages, maybe having a way in which you can actually use it. So showing us how to actually use this coffee pot. We've got some really good imagery, but we're quite limited in that regard.
Yeah. I actually wanted to just swap over to the Huel, which is a website that we've reviewed in one of our marketing deep dives recently. Now, when it comes to like e-commerce store design, I think that they're definitely one of the best, and they've been in the industry for like 6 years and perfecting it all the time. Like they've done really well. They split it between like a heading and like a bit of information about it, and there's social proof with the reviews on the left hand side, and then the product on the right. So Halo could do exactly the same. They could have the information, the headline, and the call to action on the left-hand side. Maybe that's social proof too. You can tell I've really hit this coffee really hard since I made it 20 minutes ago. But then they could have like the product showcase on the right-hand side. So they could do that instead. I mean, that's just one thing they could be doing above the fold. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I bought Halo for the first time. Huel for the first time this week that it's top of mind. But yeah, that's a possible. A possible option.
Yeah, Huel is always a website I like to reference in reviews because just the way it's built. We've got so many great things here. You know, we've got great benefits positioning statement text, and then of course credibility. And this actually brings me on to another point. And again, going back to the the whole point of I guess this video, it's to help this business in particular increase sales. And I wanted to really just go through a good point here. So yes, this website doesn't actually have that many third-party reviews built up. I did do a little bit of research. I couldn't really find too many built on different other platforms that they weren't really utilizing. So I wanted to talk about a really good feature which we sometimes recommend, and it's how you can essentially do two birds with one stone. So it's the process of when someone has made a purchase, you're sending them automated follow-up email marketing. So saying, hey, just checking in, hope you enjoyed your purchase. If you did, we'd really love it if you can leave us a review on XYZ platforms with links across to them. If you do, we can give you 10% off your next order, etc., etc., etc. And that's a great way at getting people back in to make a repeat purchase, but it's also a great way at actually building up third-party reviews for you then to market with as well. So it's kind of like two birds in one stone. And it's one which, when I'm buying things online, I never really see it utilized that frequently, but I did with Huel because I recently purchased from them as well. So it's, I mean, their YouTube ads, they just continuously hit me and they eventually got
How many ninjas do you think have bought Huel since that marketing deep dive video went out like 2 weeks ago?
We need a collaboration of some sort, don't we?
For sure, yeah. Huel, if you're watching, if you do happen to be watching, we'll happily take some products to review for you. That's fine.
Sure. But I think, implementing that sort of framework, having it set up on autopilot, it's going to be super useful to just increasing sales in the front end. So getting people to make repeat purchases, but then also, making sure that you have that credibility for the new people, so then they can see it as well.
Yeah. Do you buy much coffee, Nick?
Not really. Cheap and cheerful. I just go down to the local corner shop and buy a £3. Yeah, pretty much. That's me for coffee.
Cool. Well, this is my area of expertise, I suppose, because I'm a big coffee drinker. Sure. I buy whole bean. I ground my own coffee like 30 minutes ago. This is definitely like my bag. I mean, I don't do compostable coffee pods, but I definitely have bought like in the last, I don't know what month is in. Last 8 months, I probably bought from 10 or 12 different coffee producers. Sure. So I see like lots of different kinds of websites, and there's some stuff here where they're doing better. Like they've got a lot more going on. Visually, it's very engaging. Like if we can scroll down a little bit, like some of these images look really, really good, and the product like itself is really bold. Like keeping it really minimalist like that is, I think, actually puts it up a tier in terms of like luxury. But I think they could be doing more with how they display that, like tidying it up. So if you can go through to one of the product pages, I've got I'm just going to comment here. Ninja for fuel. Hashtag Ninja for fuel. And fitness coach, being Italian, coffee is in my DNA. I totally get that. My wife is Italian, so trying to separate her from coffee is a dangerous thing. But yeah, so looking at this, the product image is fab. Like it looks really nice. I really want to pick up that coffee and taste it. If those are the kind of tasting notes they're going to be coming through, brilliant. But it's way too busy on this right-hand side, and it's busy on that left-hand side too. We can just pull it back and make it super minimal. I hate to just take us back to Huel again. But yeah, they're doing the same kind of thing. I don't know if you still got their products open. What did you buy, Nick, from Huel?
I went for the hot and savory. And actually, I went for one of these. So let's click on it. And I was having a conversation with Bevan in the chat about this. He hates meal replacements. So if he's listening now, he's probably thinking, Nick, why have you done this? But anyway, here's an example.
Bevan, you're in the chat, I know you are. What are your thoughts on hot and savory food replacements? So I mean, this is just this. It's a really good product page. It's really kind of quite minimal. They're using the same color scheme, so they can do what they're doing here. They can reverse it and just use really just white everywhere. Use the black to really like make a point with the headings and stuff. Bevan, real food wins every time. True. Yeah. Give me a Beyond Meat burger, I'd snap it right up. But yeah, like in terms of like information on the right hand side of the product, so the product images could be better. For me, the product images that work well on Huel are that they're informational, so they're not like they're not super glossy. They could be in a food magazine like this, but they tell you what you need to know. So you could do exactly the same. You could combine the two and add some better images in there. But one other example I wanted to reference, if I could just swap the screens over, is Hotel Chocolat. So Hotel Chocolat, kind of like the next level above, like Cadbury's and Thornton's. Is Thornton still around? I have no idea. Is Hotel Chocolat. So it's a better quality better quality chocolate, and they talk about like where the chocolate has come from, the farms and stuff like that. And their product pages are pretty decent. Like their homepage as well is actually quite nice, so we'll check that out in just a moment. But yeah, we've got like what the chocolates look like. The right-hand side selections are super simple, so I immediately know, right, I'm either going to buy 3 for 10 or I'm going to buy 6 for 20. Like there's not too much complicated info on the right-hand side here. It's just buy it now, add to bag, Sometimes that can be good. Sometimes you need to add bullet points of like telling you, like for some products, Nick, I'm sure you agree, like it's good to have those bullet points on the right-hand side above the price or just below it saying this product is made from X, it's been sourced from here. But this kind of works for me. But look, scrolling down the left-hand side, you've got these like really interesting story images and a bit of text about where this chocolate is from, what makes it better than other chocolate brands. And the same could be done for Halo as well. Like Halo could be showcasing where their coffee beans are from. There's like a deeper story. It just needs to be tidy like this. Like look how neat and tidy all of this is. So that's one recommendation I would make in terms of like maybe increasing the sales. But traffic ideas, Nick, do you have any for this site?
I do indeed, yes. That's all. Multiple different windows.
Streamception.
Streamception, exactly. So yeah, traffic driving activities. I'm seeing a lot of opportunity here, especially for SEO. In general, I mean, this brand has actually been around for quite a while. I remember first seeing it when it came out and thinking, oh, this is a super cool idea. And I would really, for given how long it's been going, I'd like to have seen a little bit more of an upward trajectory for the SEO growth, especially in the UK. But if we take a look at some of the keywords they're ranking for, so if we go into detailed report, by the way, for anyone watching at home, if you like SE ranking, you can also get a free trial for it, can't you, Dale?
You absolutely can. You can get a free trial by going to bestninjatool.com, and I'll just pop that at the bottom here for you to check out. So if you want to try it, you can. So you can try SE ranking for free at Best Ninja Tool. You get, I think, 21 days, which is a decent amount of time to do some research and get to decide if this is the tool for you or not.
No, absolutely. Great tool. Big fan. So yeah, as we can see here on the screen, just to kind of deconstruct this so it makes sense to anyone watching, keyword here, the website's ranking for, search volume attributed to that keyword, the position its website is in, and some other metrics such as competition, traffic set, etc. Now, what I can see straight away is actually quite a lot of the traffic is actually going back across to their blog posts, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I do have an idea on how to improve those a little bit further, and I'll get onto that in just a moment. Okay. We can also see that actually if we flip this into traffic share, this is going to show us where most of their keyword traffic is coming from. We can see that 22% of it is around about, 22% of it is roughly coming for Halo Coffee, which is, of course, their branded search term. It's good to have branded search term keywords you're ranking for. Mm-hmm. Of course, that shows that, people know your brand. You've been building up the brand awareness. People are coming back to the website. But for e-commerce sites, wanting to focus and really grow their organic traffic, you need to also focus on the secondary commercialized search terms, because that's going to bring new people back to your business who haven't already heard of you. And there's really exciting opportunity here as well. I mean, for example, compostable coffee pods, 1,600 searches on a monthly basis. I did not think it would be that many people searching for it, but it is clearly quite a big market, to say the least. And they're currently in position 4 for that. So they're pretty high up there. They're competing with the likes of a few of the big name brands. But I think really by going through and optimizing, maybe the homepage a little bit clearer, optimizing the back end of their site, really just making sure they've got their on-site SEO really clued in and just in a really solid level. I'd really love to see them getting up the rankings a little bit for that keyword.
Yeah, looking at the search engine results pages, or SERPs if you're in the biz, they're dominated by informational content at the very top. So you've got the goodhousekeeper.com have a 15 best eco-friendly coffee pods of 2021. Second result is independent with their best eco-friendly coffee pods and capsules. So yeah, it may be tricky to disrupt that because of those kind of websites, but scrolling down, you then start to see the product pages or the home pages of companies that are selling it. So it might be that Google is not really sure if people searching for compostable coffee pods are doing an informational search or a transactional search, like a commercial search. So my suggestion would be, in terms of like generating traffic, would be get your page ranking for that term. You know, it's in 4th position or close to that right now. Let's make it go even higher. But yeah, I would try and make sure that I'm actually referenced in those top ranking informational searches. So in the independent, I would want to be 100% referenced in there.
Yes, absolutely. And when I did actually take a look through this article, I don't think they were actually referenced. So yes, I guess for content marketing, you know, to help with the organic SEO, but also to boost brand awareness, finding these sort of opportunities, maybe even reaching out to see if they can change it from a, you know, top 9 to a top 10. That might be an exciting route to go down as well. But you know, in general as well, there's a lot of really great search terms to be targeting. I mean, recyclable coffee pods as well, pretty in tune with compostable coffee pods, even, not pots. You wouldn't want a compostable coffee pot. That would just be like
just a chocolate coffee pot would be compostable coffee pot, I guess.
Be like a chocolate fireplace, wouldn't it? Just a bit pointless. But yeah, lots of good routes. And going back to a point I mentioned a little bit earlier, and again, this is, you know, orientated around to increase sales as well. So a lot of their traffic is going back to blog posts as well as their homepage. And let's just take a look for an example. So let's have a look where coffee is grown. Let's just go across to this. And, you know, it's an informational blog. You know, there's not really necessarily going to be too much crossover with someone searching for this. Maybe they want to buy coffee right now, but we can use this as an opportunity to at least promote the products a little bit better. You know, let's have some links even at the very bottom of the actual blog content promoting, hey, check out our coffee, click across here, have a gander. And also, again, having sign-up forms on the actual blog post to get people into the email marketing list to, again, if they're not ready to buy now, get them into your email marketing list. Then at some point, you're going to be able to warm them up and hopefully convert them into a purchaser. So yeah, I'd see optimizing the blog post as a good place for opportunity.
You know what would be really a great thing to do on here is just like throw in the products themselves. So I'm trying to find on another website where this has been done, where they've basically, the website I'm thinking of is an affiliate site. So they're just doing informational content, and then they're showcasing the best like kit to make the stuff. So like it's a home brewing website. I'm trying to see if I can find it. Where is it? Homebrew. I think it's Homebrew or something like that. I don't think I'm going to find it in time. But yeah, they do exactly that. So you just have like a box in the middle of this content that says, hey, if you're looking for this specific coffee from this region, let's say it's about a specific region, you should try this coffee. And there might be a starter pack, it might be a taster pack. So one good thing that some companies do is do a taster pack where it has like 5 different flavors, 5 different regions, something like that. If people are doing their research into coffee regions, they're probably the very early stages of learning about coffee. So they're more likely to want to taste the pack rather than taking one from one specific region. So that's one thing they could do to improve these. But I think it just looking at it, it looks a bit brewery. Bland, sorry.
Yeah, and I think just to highlight this article as well, I mean, the main sort of keyword they're targeting is coffee good for you? Going into a lot of, research into why it is, why it can be useful for you. But again, we're not thinking back to the products at all. This would be a great opportunity to get them back to those product pages. So, yeah.
What about other kinds of traffic generation options for Halo?
Yeah, good point. So let's take a look at SE ranking. It looks like they are being pretty lax in the old Google ads. You got to take these findings with a little bit of a pinch of salt. Of course, it's not going to be as accurate. But we can see mainly that they're going for, Halo Coffee branded search term. That's good to see. Again, whilst they're not ranking at the #1 top spot for, compostable coffee pods, maybe running some test ads on that, maybe expanding into Google Shopping. I did also take a look at their Facebook and Instagram. they're running some really great content on here. A good mix of video content as well as static images. And I think, again, going back to their brand identity, this is looking pretty solid. I mean, yeah, some really sort of bold images. I think these would stand out across the platforms, to say the least.
Yeah, in comparison to some other coffee companies I see advertising, because of all the coffee shops that I follow on Instagram and places like that, these are a bit more striking than some of the ads that I see for those companies. I just found the website I was talking about, where they have the referenced the content in the middle. So I'm going to just swap over the screens to show this website. So this is Brew Cabin. So Brew Cabin teach people how to do like home brewing for beer. And they have like loads and loads and loads of informational content. And then this piece has like a good call to action in here. So like, you can download this video course. I don't know if it's for purchase or not, but you can do the same. Like, the top half of your content could have a beginner's guide to coffee or like home brewing coffee and stuff like that. And towards the middle of the content or lower down, you can have, okay, buy this content. So you buy this product, whatever it is. You can make it a little bit more glamorous than this. Don't know if there are any other examples in here, but let's see if there's another example of product placement. No video course, but yeah, you can see their blog posts, like they always have like some kind of call to action at the bottom. So just because yours is a piece of content about coffee region, or if you're watching us and you work in a boring industry, it doesn't mean there's not somebody who wants to learn more about that industry or what it is that you do. So there's probably a guide or something you could put together in a day on Canva or whatever that you could just put into every blog post you have on your website. That's already going to earn you more leads, or as cold as they are, but more leads than having no call to action whatsoever. There was something else I wanted to show as well. So this is James Hoffman. So James Hoffman is a coffee YouTuber, and he's got like close to 1 million views. Now, I'm not saying you could work with James directly, because I expect that he probably wouldn't want to work with Halo because he owns a coffee roasting company. But there are loads and loads of coffee influencers that you can go and work with, or you can do work with, and start to get a bit of brand recognition that way. So you can either go and work with like the lower tier. So like everything, there's a pyramid of the people at the top who have like 1 million followers, then 500 followers, 500,000 followers, then 5,000 followers, and 500 followers. You can work with that middle tier or the lower tier with these micro influencers, macro influencers, and get your brand talked about by a lot of people in one go. So one thing I like to suggest, like in terms of strategy, is to have all of your products go out to like 50 people all at the same time. So when people load up their Instagram, all they're seeing is, or whatever network, seeing is your name, your name, your name, your name. Do that consistently. And sending products out doesn't cost all that much compared to the cost of actually like paying for PPC ads, as an example. And it gets your brand name, all over the place and spoken about. Search for on Google. Oh, I spotted this brand. Who are they? I'll search for Halo. So that's one idea. You can just look into influencer marketing, whether that's on YouTube or I follow a whole bunch of people on Instagram as well who show. I wish I could bring up my Instagram because there's a whole bunch of people like doing really, really fun videos. That I'm not signed into my personal browser right now, so I can't show you. But there's so many interesting things you can be doing with influencers for coffee. Yeah. Cool. Any other traffic ideas for Halo, or would you like to move on to the next site? Because it's half an hour in and we've done one site.
Yeah,
so much insights, so many insights to pass over.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one. But that was actually going to be my final point as well. Yeah, I found that actually they were getting some reviews on different sites, a few different YouTube channels as well, but not nearly anywhere near the scale as which they should be. I mean, the top one I found was from 2020 for a sort of a content marketing piece, and this one was 2020 as well. So maybe they could have experimented with it last year, but yeah, there's so many micro influencers you can reach out to just boost the brand awareness and help with sales. So yes, absolutely. Good shout. But yes, let's move on.
Wicked. Whilst you're just loading up the next slide, don't forget to use hashtag Ninja if you want an opportunity to win a copy of this book, How to Get to the Top of Google, the best-selling SEO book over on Amazon. I'll send it to you in print or via Kindle or audiobook if you prefer. And also, if you learned something today, don't forget to hit like down below. It helps us to show this video to other e-commerce owners or marketing managers as well, just like yourselves, which is so super helpful for us and for them as well. So please do consider hitting like, even if you're watching us on Twitter. You can hit like everywhere. In fact, go and hit like on every network you can find that's streaming on right now. That'd be great. Cool. Next site.
Cool. So this is a site called Sasco, and with a very ambiguous tagline. Their goal is to increase the traffic coming back across to their website. So again, looking at sort of traffic driving activities is going to be a good one to get started with. However,
cool. I'm just going to stop you there, right, Nick?
Yes.
I want to know in the chat if people can tell me what that website is about, what it sells. I'd be really curious. In the chat, tell me, what does this business sell?
Thank you for pointing this out. This is going to be my next point.
Oh, sorry, Nick. We're just on the same wavelength.
Oh, this is great. I love it.
Bevan is telling us that apparently How to Get to the Top of Google is a great book.
Oh, thank you, Bevan.
In actual fact, if you do join as a member of our YouTube channel, you get a free copy of our book as a PDF. So it just costs $2.99 per month. You'll not only get a copy of our book, you'll also get access to some members-only live streams that we're planning in the future once we have enough members joined, as well as access to all of our Tim-based emojis and stuff like that. Fitness Coach on Demand, my favorite Italian, says tools. Super Skills says vehicle hire. That's a good one. Model Universe says logistics. David Webb is also saying about logistics. Nick, what's this website about?
There's some good guesses, but unfortunately, pretty off the mark. It is all to do with flooring supplies.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it honestly, I mean, I came across and did a little bit of research for this, and of course I know what this site's about. But again, whenever we're on the featured image section, we've got your favorite thing, Dale. We've got some banners going around. They're still never really getting to the point of why should be what this site's about. We've got information on our trade counter staff, new carpet tile colors. Our manufacturing processes, our fleets. But again, let's just keep it a little bit simple, at least for the first one, and just go into a bit more information into the products in which I can expect to buy on this site. We've got a pretty self-explanatory navigational header, but again, we just need to hit the nail on the head a little bit harder, I would say.
Nick, I just choked on my coffee.
Are you feeling all right?
No, I wasn't expecting the slider comment.
Apologies. I just know that you have not a love-hate relationship with sliders. You have a hate relationship. But okay, so sliders aside, just making things a little bit clearer. That would be a good route to go down. So in terms of driving traffic back to this website, I've got so many different tabs open, and I managed to click on the right one first time. This is great. Let's just refresh this and go back. So for a site such as this, there's going to be main two traffic drivers in which I'm personally going to be recommending to them. And one is, of course, always going to be the longer term route of search engine optimization, as I'm sure you probably guessed. And the other one, of course, would be paid advertising as well. There's a huge amount of different products on the website. From my knowledge and research I did before, I don't really think they're running any Google Shopping campaigns. SE rankings a little bit inaccurate in showing us this, but I did a fair few different keyword searches and I couldn't really find anything within Google Shopping for them. So that would be a priority in the shorter term. It's to really focus on getting that extensive product range into the various different categories. That'd be really useful, and then really working harder on their search engine optimization too. And if we look at some of the keyword opportunities, it's good to see, of course, they are ranking for those such as safety flooring supplies. How do I clear this? That's not very useful. Safety flooring supplies. And we've also got some massive keywords a little bit further down as well. So floor supplies, flooring supplies, wood trimming, safety flooring. These are all massive search terms. But again, just at this moment in time, they're just too far down the search results pages to really make the most of those traffic. the most of that traffic, not those traffic. Do you have any comments from what you can see at this moment in time, Dale? Any insights or?
Yes, we've got lots of header terms. Again, they're not ranking very well. They're ranking in the 3rd, 4th, 5th pages, which is not ideal. So, does the Pope something in a wood? Does anybody see the results on page 2 and beyond? No, nobody sees those results really, depending on the search. But if practically hidden from the internet if you're on page 2 or 3 plus. That's a bit of a problem. But it's mostly header terms is the first thing I actually noticed, was that they're not ranking for, I mean, there may be, this is just a snapshot, of course, but I'd like to see way more like informational searches, longer tail keywords, the keywords that are 3, 4, 5 words long. Did we see any of those coming through? I'm not seeing any.
Not really, to be honest. It's all very headliney type keywords. And just for people watching across the multiple different channels, what would you give as a definition for a headline search term?
Like a heading search term?
Yes, that headline. Heading.
So, I don't know, trainers. Trainers is or coffee. Coffee is one. And then, it just gets longer and longer. So like coffee pods, sustainable coffee pods. What are sustainable coffee pods? So like the longer and longer it gets, the more informational it tends to be.
Sure.
Nightbot with a great suggestion in our chat saying, hit like if you've learned something today. Well, a wonderful thing to say. Thanks, Nightbot.
One thing I also noticed throughout when I was taking a look at this site is, so we are ranking for some keywords, but there's definitely some room for improvement. If we go on, for example, floor coverings, product category page, within this, we've got a lot of different keywords we'll be searching for, but there's not, I mean, what do you think we should be adding here, Dale, on this category page?
I mean, there's so many different things. I mean, the first kind of thing is, if I come onto this page and I don't want to see these products, there's no like backup option for me to take. So I can either go back to the page I came from, or I can just look into one of these pages or go back to the menu. But like sometimes it's actually good to have like another kind of call to action on the page, such as a guide saying how to choose the right floor covering or something like that. Like I know it's common to have like category copy, so they're describing the category on the page, and sometimes they can go a little bit wild and describe the history of floor coverings and how in 1453 the first floor covering was created. But I find like a guide on how to choose this can be super. How to choose this kind of thing, or at the bottom, underneath those categories, you can say, if you're not sure, speak to our team, and have a button that connects people directly to a live chat. But there's a whole bunch of other things I'm sure you can recommend, Nick.
Yeah, so, I mean, really, we'd want to see some additional text for these category pages, wouldn't we? So if you're trying to go after the keyword floor coverings, we'd want to see some SEO optimized text going into a bit more detail to give Google a little bit of a clear indication that what this is about, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there should be some copy on there for sure.
And it doesn't have to be loads of copy, just enough to just, I guess, really explain this a little bit further. Not like it's you don't know what it's about, but again, it's just playing into the sort of search engine game a little bit. So yeah, definitely adding some.
The problem that some e-commerce stores fall into is writing 4,000 words for a category page where nobody's ever going to read that. I've never stopped on a category page to read the history of floor covering or temporary protection or so yeah, it's got to be sensible. It's got to make sense for the customer journey that those people are taking. So I know we want those pages to rank, but we're writing for people, not for Google. So it's important to remember when writing copy for your category pages, have it make sense. Like write for your target audience, write for your target customer, and whilst doing that, keep SEO in mind whilst doing so.
Yeah,
but I like John Legg's suggestion that laxatives also keep the project moving. So that's a good one. I like that.
I mean, yeah, they do, I guess. Yeah. maybe you could bundle that up, John, and sell it. You could start a branding company, maybe, or advertising.
Top idea.
Yeah. Cool. So I guess that's a bit of a dive into some of the opportunities for SEO, and that's not even just showing the opportunities for their site, but it's also a few improvements for the site itself. From a paid ads perspective, I'm really not seeing too much going on here. We are targeting some keywords from safety flooring supplies, renting tile cleaner machine, rent machines, clean tile floors. So again, yeah, really making these a little bit broader, going after some more of maybe the headline search terms will be super useful just to get more of that traffic back and just widen that net up, really. And I think as well, maybe even going a little bit harder in terms of their budget. I mean, of course, this is just an assumption of how much traffic they're going to be generating. But if this is the reality, then I think there's so many different search terms you can be targeting. You get quite clever with the keyword strategies you're using, going after a mixture of long tail, shorter tail. And yeah, with really just being on the ball in terms of the ongoing optimization, you could really find some good winners within there to drive more traffic back across.
Yeah. Design-wise, like it's not bad.
No.
I like the simplicity of the color selection. Yeah, I think those could be higher up. I'm sure you would agree. Nick.
Definitely.
Just to get that kind of social proof in there. But there's a lot to like about this. But in terms of traffic and optimizing our internal pages, our category pages, I think there's a bit of work to be done. And get rid of that slider as soon as possible. I'd be really interested to know more about this target audience. I don't know if the owner of this website or the head of marketing or marketing manager is in the chat. I'd love to know because we'd love to just understand your customer a bit better. Because I'm starting to think, okay, well, we could add copy to the category pages, and we add some copy to the other parts of the site, so we get those long tail searches taken care of. But also we need links, so we need to build links to this website too. And the best way to build links is to keep your audience in mind and think what platforms or websites or publishers are they hanging out on that would make the most sense to be linked from to your website. But it looks like you've got to look at you've got a peek of their backlink profile in front of you.
Yeah, took a little bit of a gander to see the domain authority linking domains. So let's have a little bit of a look through. We can see, actually, that's not going to be that bit too broad, isn't it? Let's go through to inbound links. So we can see actually they're making use of quite a lot of different directories. Come back to the sites. Actually, that looks like quite a lot of the bulk ones on the first page. So maybe, yeah, it looks like a lot of directories in a lot of different areas. That's interesting. I mean, in terms of the sort of strategy, what would you be seeing as a good sort of websites to reach out to? Because I would say like, DIY sites, people who are looking to, maybe do house renovations or DIY their own house. I'd see that as being maybe a similar target audience.
Yeah, so my process from here would be brainstorm. Like, okay, this is my target audience. What are they interested in? And then look for relations. So I'd be trying to build links that way. So think of like, okay, I can reach out to my suppliers and my vendors and see if I can create some kind of links from them. And then think, okay, people in office. I'm trying to think of somewhere like office. Decorating, that kind of thing. Those companies will have an industry website that they will hang out on and talk about how much they love renovating offices. I'd want to appear on there. But then you can take it a step further. Like, people are talking about office, you want to link from that office space website, but then other people are talking about offices as well. So there are going to be people talking about pro working from home or pro working from an office. And you can start to create a story there and do a bit of digital PR about, maybe look at statistics. How many people are in favor of one or the other? Do they prefer hybrid? Look into statistics of productivity. Is productivity increased when people are working from home, which is what we found as a remote agency of 7 years or whatever it is. Or is it higher in the office? And then you can do a bit of link building that way. So publish some statistics about it. And then that will not only be picked up by people in the office space, perhaps, but also people who in HR, and those websites will start to pick it up and say, hey, that's actually something our audience would be interested in. We'll share that, a link to that as well. So my favorite tool there is like a brainstorm. Just, the first thing might be flooring, but which places need flooring? Right, offices, hospitals. Then think of all those relations to each of those words and take it from there and think, right, what's the story I can generate for each of those ideas?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's always a good place to start. And I think using in an even more practical way, you can also use the actual product categories which you have on the site as being those initial starting points to then branch off to if you're a little bit stuck for ideas of where to start with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Another great way is they've got the bottom there, bottom right hand side. They've got to contact us, which I would like to see pop up rather than having to be clicked. So after a little bit of time, just have it pop up and start a conversation, which you'll find if you go to our site, for example. But start to record like all the questions. Hey, it's me. Oh, how am I in two places at once? Oh my god. But yeah, you can have something like that and just start to record all the kinds of questions that your sales team are picking up. And if you do that over a space of like weeks or months, just have a constant like log of every frequently asked question, start to create content around those questions. If people are asking you about it, they're probably searching Google for it, and you can have the piece of content that ranks at the top of Google for that search. Bevan's just commented, hi Bevan from beautiful Barcelona. Quality of the backlink is just as important as quantity. And I
Indeed
completely agree. I'd rather have one super strong link over 10 really, really weak ones.
Yeah, and we've got some really good articles on the Exposure Ninja website as well, discussing should you ever buy backlinks. So for anyone who might be thinking, oh, we'll just go buy a load of really great backlinks, check out that article. It is a must.
I'll just pop that on the screen now. In fact,
cool.
It's just references. So I'll drop the link in the chat afterwards. But yeah, it was written by James Baer, one of our content marketing team leaders. Talks about should you buy backlinks, and when we talk about buying backlinks, we often think about going to Fiverr or websites like that where you can buy 100 for like £5 or $5 or something like that. There's almost always complete trash, and if they are on a good site, they tend to disappear after like 15 minutes or a few days or a few weeks anyway. So they're not really worth it. You do have to buy backlinks in the same way that you have to buy adverts in newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. There are some you have to sponsor or as a kind of editorial, like an advertising kind of thing. But in terms of like buying a whole bunch of backlinks, they're almost always 99.9% of the time going to be just terrible and disappear. But I'll just grab the link for that and I'll drop it in the chat whilst we're here.
Cool, fantastic. So I've noticed we have 13 minutes left of the stream. Should we move on to the final site?
Me.
It's gone fast, isn't it?
Let's go.
Cool, fantastic. So the final site for today is
exposureninja.com.
It is Vivida. Is the screen working? It's set off stop sharing.
Yeah, I can see Vivida. Yeah.
Okay, cool, fantastic. So Vivida, yes, this is a cool website. It's another one similar to I forgot their name, the coffee site, Halo. They don't sell similar products, but I think their branding, their product imagery is really, really strong, and it's a really cool website. It was my first time actually coming across them today, and yeah, I think it's put together pretty nicely. So
it'd be nice to know in the chat if people like the website, yes or no. Give us a Y for yes, N for no, happy face, thumb up, thumb down. You tell me, is it a good site, bad site? What do we like? Is there anything you would get rid of? Anything you'd improve? Please tell me in the chat.
Very strong colors, I find. It's got a yes from me. I'm not sure if anyone agrees, but yeah, it's definitely a yes from me.
Whilst we wait for those to come through, John is asking, how do you judge a good directory? I think we spoke about this in the previous stream, maybe in one of my AMAs when asking anything. Basically, if it ranks for the search query that you're searching for, like electrician supplier, and it comes on the first page, it's probably worth something. It's probably valuable, and our general business directory is worth paying for. If you want some referral traffic, sure. There's no guarantee there's anything going to come through. Like, you can spend a lot of money being on Yellow Pages and see nothing at all. But in terms of like link equity or link juice or page authority, domain authority, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Personally, I like to put my focuses on like very specialized or very localized directories rather than general ones. But it depends on your budget. It depends on your audience. Like, if your target audience are more likely going to be on the mirror.com directory, then sure. If they're going to be on Checkatrade a lot, then be on Checkatrade, for example.
Yeah. So I guess not all directories are created equally.
Absolutely. Just like every website. Some e-commerce stores, they're great. Some not so much.
No, absolutely. What was the verdict from the chat? Did people like the site or?
From what I can see, we got a Y. We got one Y that said they liked the site.
Oh, right. Well, I'm glad you agree with me, that one person. So,
Thanks, Phil.
Well, thanks, Phil. Much appreciated. Right, cool. So, yeah, just as a bit of a background. So, of course, it is a clothing company. It's an active wear-ish clothing company, not so necessarily, your standard gymming sort of gear. It's more a sportswear for water and adventure, as we can see from the correctly optimized page title up here in the top left-hand corner. And they're also going down the route of being sustainable as well. There, hopefully you can see that.
There we go. I've unhidden it.
Cool, fantastic. So, and they're also going down the sustainable route as well. So there's a lot of different angles they can go down here. And the first thing I want to note, I always mention this whenever I come on the stream, Dale, just because it's so important. I mentioned it with Halo. This is actually the only site out of 3 today which is actively building up reviews on reviews.io. So of course, getting some of those onto the featured image section would be super useful. And this website is also really keen on boosting their traffic. So I'm really keen to just talk about some traffic driving activities. And the first place to start with that, again, would be a little bit of SE ranking. Now, one of the kind of most unique products that stood out for me was actually their ponchos. They've got a whole section dedicated to their site just for ponchos, so really broad category. And actually, if we take a look, SE ranking, this is actually one of the keywords which is really driving a huge amount of traffic within the UK back for them. So we can see they're ranking, position 4 for towel ponchos. That's 6,600 searches. Poncho. I never knew that was a thing either, but it's got me kind of excited. Actually, I should probably show the product pages. So essentially, this, like, if I can see the logic behind it, if you're going to the sea and you don't just want to wear a towel,
pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
That one on the right there, the mineral blue, is just my color. I want one of those. That was great.
No, absolutely, and
I think I'll wear it quite as well as she does, though.
I don't know, Dale. I reckon you got the look for it. But huge amount of opportunity here. From towel ponchos, poncho towels, beach ponchos, and it looks like this is really what is kind of driving the core of the traffic for this business. So really cementing themselves for those sort of keywords to just increase the amount of traffic they're getting there, but then also expanding out into some of the broader search terms in general. So, sustainable sportswear, maybe even looking at things such as, sustainable water wear or sustainable beach wear. There's a lot of different routes you can go down with this business. And it is because it is actually quite niched instead of just being a very broad clothing site, essentially. There was something else I wanted to show as well, which I thought was pretty cool and be good to get your opinion on. On these product pages for the site, we never really have just actual images of the product without someone using them. And normally it's actually the other way around, isn't it? A lot of clothing websites, you see just sort of the static images, and the recommendation is to have the actual products being worn by people. But this site completely flips that on the head, and they only have product in action shots, which I think is quite good for the overall branding. And it's kind of selling like the activity to people as well. So I was a really big fan of this. What's your thought on these, Dale?
Yeah, I like that a lot. It kind of reminds me of like Patagonia. I don't know if their website is like that now, but they used to be like very like action shot heavy. Looking at their website now, not so much. It's actually like product shots. Actually, pretty quite a lot. Not action shots, but like standard product photography. Yeah, I like that a lot. But I need both. Basically, I want to see both for sure. The only way it could be maybe slightly better is there's some kind of I think it's Pretty Little Thing or Boohoo or something like that, where they have a short like jiffy video kind of thing where you see somebody walking around doing a big turn and this is how I look in my big towel, or you could have like a 360 as well if you can afford to add that to your product listings, because that costs a little bit as well.
Sure. ASOS, I think ASOS do that as well. Let me see if
I can't remember who it is. I think it might be Boohoo or somewhere where you can actually choose the model as well. Can't quite remember who it is. Maybe it's Boohoo, but you can choose the model, so you can see someone who's got like your kind of figure. So that's a better if you have a different kind of product for something like this that's so baggy. You don't really need somebody in lots of different figures, because one figure should all look the same under this big floppy poncho.
Cool. Absolutely. yeah, in addition, so to there being quite a lot of opportunity for SEO just in general, a huge amount of different keywords to go after, and already some good positions. Yeah, paid advertising, Facebook and Instagram, I think could work really well for these guys. I think they're pretty active already in the ads in which they're running. Yes, it does look like it. I mean, again, we've got a huge combination of video ads, carousel ads. It looks like some of these might be retargeting adverts as well. It's a bit hard to say what could really take these to the next level without seeing the back end, the data to really just assess what their CPA is. But that would be the first thing I'd be looking at. If we were to work with this business, it'd be understanding what sort of cost per acquisition is needed to generate some significant sort of profits for the sales, and I'm really backtracking from that as well, because I can imagine that they're investing quite hard on these various different platforms with their paid advertising budgets, and I think they probably would be utilizing Google Shopping as well. Let's just take a quick look. Towel poncho, see what happens. So yes, we can't actually currently see any ads on here, but I guess they're quite high within the Google search results pages. That's a good question for you, actually, Dale.
Go for it.
You might know the answer, or you might not. If you're ranking pretty high organically for a search term, would you still recommend running shopping ads or Google ad campaigns for that type of search term too?
Fantastic question. That depends very much on your budget. But if you can afford to, I would definitely be there, because there are some people who are just natively going there. So I know for some searches I do, I will just go to the shopping results first, rather than going through the organic listings, just because I find when I'm using that, I can have a wide view of the products available very quickly, unlike going to these traditional search results where you have to open a page at a time. So in terms of like placement and being visible in the right places, yes, I would, if I had the budget to do so.
Yeah.
In the same way that I would want to be visible on every social media network, I would want to be available in every place there's the right kind of advert for my product, whatever that might be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree. And I think as well, it is good to see that actually they are running an ad here, or it's being picked up within Google search results, which is good to see. But also I think I get recommended these sort of videos quite a lot on YouTube. It's like, traveling videos, surfing videos, fishing videos, all those kind of like just outdoory activity type videos. And I think, again, running some sort of product outreach campaigns, maybe trying to get some, small scale YouTubers involved, that could work really well. I've just clicked on this link here, which was actually a search term for top 10 best surf ponchos for 2021. So hopefully they might be featured on it, but this is a really weird affiliate site.
Yeah. I mean,
So
Google have been doing a lot of work in the last 3 months to kind of not penalize, but like stop low quality affiliate sites coming towards the top of Google. So it's been a lot harder for affiliate website owners more recently. So you would hope that this one would be pretty good.
This is a weird website, to say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah,
anything
anyway,
that's super ad heavy is always like almost an immediate nope for me. Like if you think of like food websites nowadays, where it's just full of ads, I just get out there as soon as I can, or just like be really smart and use like an extension to turn like food websites into just text, so you can just read it without all that nonsense. But one thing I just wanted to reference was that on trends, if you look at Google Trends, towel poncho is going through a bit of a spike at the moment. So worldwide, in the last 5 years, it's at the highest search volume it's ever had, which is pretty interesting. There's a lot of interest in Ireland, UK, New Zealand. There's a lot of interest there as well, which reminds me that there's a website called the Oodie, which I know has been a huge success in Australia, which is basically like a huge hoodie for lounging around your I don't know, living room or office, whatever, home office, if you work at Exposure Ninja. Actually, the products for the cost of these things, the product photos are not as good as I was kind of expecting. They're really simple. I expect that the reason that the product photos, the product pages are super simple is because all of the work they're doing is offsite. Like they're doing a lot of heavy work with social, with influencers, stuff like that. Like I was just on. Sorry, I was sharing my screen. I'll pop it back to yours because you've got a better view. yeah, they're going to be doing like a lot of offsite stuff that by the time people come through to the website, they're already convinced they're going to buy it already. And some of these prices are like super huge. Like Udi blue weighted blanket bundle is 133 quid. My goodness. So yeah, with the Udi, I don't know what the search profile is like, but I expect it's probably not what's the word? I was going to say come dice. Nobody will understand what I say. Come dice. That's happened. You spend 10 years with Italian, you start to just mixing Italian words with
Do you dream in Italian as well? Do you think in Italian?
I'm not there yet, but it just my sentences are like 50-50 English and Italian when I'm speaking at home. But anyway, we're coming to the end of our hour, and I just wanted to thank everyone for joining the stream, but we do have the giveaway to do as well, so I'm going to do that right now. If you've learned something today, do hit like. I've noticed that there are only about 21 likes on our YouTube channel, and there are like twice as many people watching, so please just go and do that. It costs you nothing, and I'll refund you if you're not happy with this. But yeah, I'm just going to jump and do the draw for the giveaway just now. So let's just pop that on the screen as your last opportunity Streamception. As your last opportunity to win a copy of our book, How to Get to the Top of Google. So if you want to spam Ninja in the chat, you can do. I'll give you like 17 seconds to do so. Fitness coach on demand. I know that feeling. Yeah. It happens to be a lot. Just using the wrong words. Not good. Fortunately, it doesn't happen at work so much. I'm not in a meeting with Nick saying and dropping in Italian words. That would be confusing. Bevan with a lovely thumbs up. Hope you've had a good day, Bevan. What are you planning to do tonight and this weekend, Nick? It's a bank holiday in England, so what are you going to do?
Oh, I'm glad you asked. Tonight, I'm going on a boat cruise, and it's a fancy dress one, so I'm dressing up as Freddie Mercury.
Awesome! That sounds fantastic.
It's a good costume. Yeah, I'll send you one on Monday.
Fantastic! I'd love to see that. Oh, what's it like going to a fancy dress party? I forgot what it's like to go out.
Yeah, well, gosh, yeah, I forgot that existed.
Yeah, cool. Right, I'm gonna hit draw on this. So good luck, everybody. Again,
good luck.
Paperback, Kindle, audiobook, whatever your preference is, just let me know via my Twitter account. So that's @DaleDavies_me, and I will send it to you. And our winner is Drew Michael. So Drew Carmichael. Sorry. Do just contact me at twitter.com /DaleDavies_me, or you can email me at dale@explosionninja.com, and we can sort out a delivery address or something like that. Otherwise, it's been great speaking to you, and I shall see you all next Friday. Take care, everyone.
Pleasure, everyone.
Bye.
See you next time.